He's going to be seeing Harold Perkins in his dreams after tonight, maybe his nightmares. He is relentless.
Harold Perkins Jr. Quite frankly, the scariest man in football. You know it's real when 24-hour sports is coming out with the college football video because we just don't get to this sport that often. We know with the NFL season and with the NBA season being right in the midst of things, it's kind of hard to cover them all, but we try to do our best. But when I saw this guy on film and he flashed the way he flashed in those full games, I had to. And now I'm right here talking about this guy, just another guy on the list. On LSU's list, we talk about Patrick Peterson's, Tyrann Mathieu, Derek Stingley's, Devin White's, Patrick Queen's. And this is another guy who's going to be on the defense and be an absolute superstar. Now, he is really one of the guys that projects in the NFL as one of those freakishly built linebackers. We talk about twitchy, can do some things in coverage, can affect the quarterback, what everybody wants to get paid to do, can read his keys like a traditional linebacker, but he has to get better at it. And I think that right now, looking at what he's done so far, this is a guy who's far and away from what he can become. Now, this year is going to be more of a traditional linebacker. And like I said, has to work on that a lot because he's kind of raw in that aspect when talking about his instincts. But so far, he's been able to do a lot just off pure athleticism. Let me remind you, an all-state running back and linebacker, the number 4 or 5 nationally ranked player in high school, depending on the website. But let's dive into the film of Harold Perkins Jr. because you've seen what I said, and you know that this is something real because I'm saying it. Let's get into it. Let's roll the tape. So Perkins Jr. really spent most of last year's campaign as really that hybrid outside linebacker slash edge rusher. But when he lined up as the middle linebacker, is that lurker in the defense, he was asked to do something very hard. Be a quarterback spy for some of the most athletic quarterbacks in college football. And looking at this play right here, that was not a hard task for him at all. Now, understand the quarterback that he's going against right here, Malik Hornsby. When the Arkansas Razorbacks were asked what do they think about Malik Hornsby, the answer was simply put,
fastest player on the team. Not even close is what they tag it with. He's the fastest player on the team, and it's not even close. He has that kind of juice.
The fastest guy on the team, and it's not even close. And we see the closing speed right here by Harold Perkins Jr. As soon as he flushes out of the pocket, closes on him. And I think it's safe to say he's the best quarterback spy in college football. Also to note, got the fumble right here and it's recovered. Now right here, another play for Perkins, making the uneasy look easy. Playing the outside linebacker role in a quarters coverage, has the seam to flat, and he breaks on the flat before the running back can catch the ball and get into his stride. Why does this matter so much? We don't ever see outside linebackers, the traditional ones, play this position in the NFL. We usually see a third safety or a nickel corner because these guys have not been athletic enough to keep up with the transition of the NFL. Now, understand this is college football, but we still see a lot of nickel and dime packages today. So when he's able to make this play, along with some of his other talents that we're going to see, you're going to see it all come together for Harold Perkins. So to this point, you're probably saying, okay, freakishly athletic, slightly undersized. We've seen this way too many times. But where his NFL projection comes in, where the next level quarterback affecting comes in, is when he gets into the pass rush. Now understand right here, he uses that famous ghost move that we see so many great pass rushers move against this lineman right here. And he's affecting the quarterback, getting to the football. And weirdly enough, this was not called a fumble. Now, he made another play later in the game to actually seal the game, but for some reason, one or another, maybe it was LSU, I don't know what they have against them, but this was not called a fumble. Now, I'm not going to lie. Harold Perkins has some very good one-on-ones in the pass rush on film, but I don't think that right now, because he's so raw, it was as consistent as the great pass rushers. However, with his athleticism and speed, this makes him a great blitzer. And now that he's going to be a traditional linebacker, I think that we can use him in different ways to create mismatches in the pass rush. Now, right here, I think a key play that I like, because had the hard count. We already knew we were coming with the pressure. And when we see the hard count, we just back off a little bit. And then we still have the perfect instincts and understanding to time up this blitz perfectly. Jahmyr Gibbs is not stepping over on this. And boom, we in Bryce Young's face, time to have at it. So looking at some of these plays, I think we can get a big time feel for what Harold Perkins Jr. truly is and what he can project is. Now, I think his ceiling is nowhere close to being reached just yet because he's moving to that traditional off the ball linebacker, going to have more responsibilities and also can be used in more advantageous pass rush situations. So he's not going to be as much lined up as a true on the ball linebacker, but in certain situations we need it. Get in that wide 9, get in that 5 tech and go after it. That's the type of thing we have. Now, of course, like I said, right now, not a perfect prospect. And I think that a lot of that has to do with play strength. And some of the instincts, we see certain things, if there's a bubble screen, he's lined up as that outside linebacker. He may not diagnose that play as fast as we want to. If he has power against him, he may not diagnose that how we want him to. Or actually, he just can't take on that pulling blocker just yet. And some of the other things I saw, though, on the good side, if you run counter or power away from him, he's absolutely dominant on chase down pursuit. So you can't really do a lot of things to try to scheme him out of the game. You just got to get it quick, or either now him being that traditional linebacker, we're going to see how he holds up in coverage. But I did see some good things with his instinct so far. So truly, as far as a freshman, we saw a lot of things that we want to see. I think he was as close to a great prospect as a freshman as what we can expect. And like I said, we look at some of the comps and it's kind of hard to find one. I heard Ryan Clark saying that he sees some of the things that Michael Parsons did when he was at Penn State. And I think that with him transitioning, because Micah played on the ball, he played off the ball, and he was an absolute dominant blitzer. So that's the same thing I think this guy can do. Being 6'1", around that 220 range, we can get that up to 230, put it all muscle, and keep some of that athleticism. The sky is truly the limit for Harold Perkins Jr., and I know that some teams are gushing. He's 2025. He's not going to be eligible this year. He's going to be eligible the year after this year. So just keep your eye on this prospect. Hopefully I opened your eyes to a great prospect that you would like to see. You want to watch more of him. But right here we see a lot of film. We see what he can do. This is why he's the scariest man in college football.